Oh no, त्यो व्हाइटमा तड्किन्छ तिमी त
Oh.
अप्सराहरू देखेको छ।
So do you remember watching Bruce Lee and Jackie Chan movie when you were growing up?
ज्याकी च्यान मेन चाहिँ ज्याकी च्यानको चाहिँ हेर्थेँ यो त्यो फनी भएकोले धेरै
अँ।
जस्तो ज्याकी च्यानको मुभी आउँथ्यो नि यो एचबिओ तिनीहरूमा
बच्चा बेलामा त कति धेरै आउँथ्यो कि यो Jackie Chan
ब्रुस लीको नै धेरै लाइक वी डिड नट युज टु सी ब्रुस ली मुभिज अलट
तर
किड्स
लाइक Jackie Chanको चाहिँ एकदमै धेरै आउँथ्यो होइन अनि आई युज टु वाच देम अ लट लाइक रिपिटेडली नै अनि के अरे ब्रुस लीको चाहिँ वान्स इन अ वाइल आउँथ्यो लाइक वाज अ भेरी ओल्ड मुभी टाइप अफ हुन्छ नि धेरै वाइल लाग्यो
लाइक ब्रुस ली मुभिज आर अ बिट ओल्डर देन ज्याकी च्यान
आई थिङ्क Jackie Chanको एराभन्दा एक स्टेप अगाडिको एराको थियो कि
त्यो बिकज अफ द क्वालिटी अफ द भिडियो क्वालिटी इज अ बिट lower resolution than Jackie Chan's.
Maybe because when we search something related to Bruce Lee on YouTube, the quality is kind of black and white, and it has more of a like grading type of thing. के भन्छ त्यसलाई अब photographical way मा videographical way मा त्यस्तो हुन्छ नि त होइन but especially more than these movies होइन and things that they do Jackie Chanहरूले जसरी अब he used to do all of his stunt by himself अनि Bruce Lee he had his own way of philosophy of things and movies are also like philosophical philosophical quotes or lines भनिरहेको हुन्छ teachings दिइरहेको हुन्छ नि and those kind of things are very fun to watch के मलाई चाहिँ
especially kids we resonated with the cool Bruce Lee who used to fight with like enemies. Now we can resonate with his quotes and his philosophy.
For his philosophy, yeah. Like we have watched it for two different reasons. Now watching Bruce Lee means more philosophical way, but when we were kids, it was more for an action-based movie.
So with that, like I have these cards, like Bruce Lee को cards भनेर छ कि like यस्तो वाला अनि यसमा चाहिँ like there's every card has a different quote. So I really wanted to talk about the quotes that he has said. So one of my favorite quotes that he has said was, "Don't think, feel." Like, what do you think about it? Don't think, feel wala quote. Like most of his quotes come from mostly from martial art, his experience in martial art, and his theory of everything should be like water, should be in a flow, because water can crash, water can flow smoothly, water can boil, water can be in like frozen state.
It takes the shape of wherever
it is. And so don't think, feel भने चाहिँ it's very important जस्तो लाग्छ.
Whenever I think about this quote, I think we get stuck between our thoughts whether
to do it or
not to do it, or whatever I'm feeling, is it right to feel this way, or whatever I'm doing, is it right? But we get stuck in our thoughts. So whenever we are going through that thought process of mental dilemmas of what to do, I think sitting there and trying to feel our emotions can be a better way of actually finding out how we feel and what we should be doing. Again, like since we are trying to actually feel it, maybe it's like a water in a sense where it's taking
multiple forms.
It's taking form of your emotions rather than just
multiple forms of the situation you're in, changing according to the situation.
Yeah,
the same as water changes according to its environment. So for me, don't think, feel is more resonated with playing football because I play football, futsal. So while like taking a shot or playing a game, if I think, I mess up. Like I know it. If I think I'll take a shot like this, I'll dribble like this, I'll score a goal like this, there's a lot of thoughts in my head. So
it doesn't translate into action. You are just talking in your mind.
Talking in my mind. So instead, if I just felt it, like felt it as in n- not thinking about I'll do this, I'll do that, just do, just be. Like I know how to play, just be. I don't have to think I'll score a goal this way, I'll dribble past this opponent with this skill. Like the more I think,
The more complicated
the
it
more
gets.
complicated it gets, and I'll never be able to do it. So I've noticed ki when I don't think and I feel, I play much better. And I have the quality. I know I have the quality, but when I think, I mess up a lot. But when I don't
So you need to
think
be within yourself.
within myself, and I just have to
Trust in the.
subconscious mind. Let
You
the
have to trust
subconscious mind
yourself.
take care of itself.
Yeah. I agree with the quote in this sense. Like you should not just get stuck in your thoughts, but rather how you feel and get on with it.
So don't think feel comes from. I think it comes from martial art. He does martial art, Nita. And so while you're fighting someone, if you're thinking, I'm gonna punch him like this, I'm gonna block like this. When he does this, I'll do that. You're never gonna do it. When you're in your head thinking about what he will do, you're not in the moment. So if you're just in the moment feeling what is going on, you'll be ready to react to whatever comes. So I think that this quote comes from that.
That's true.
So this is one of the quotes. Another quote that I love is "Be water, my
And
friend."
one of the most popular one.
Like this is in my bio too.
Be
Like I love it a
Your
lot.
TikTok bio.
Huh?
It's in your TikTok bio. I saw it in your TikTok bio.
TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, everywhere it's the same. Be water, my friend.
This is one of the most popular.
Like in one of his interview, he says like we should be like water because water can flow, water can crash, like water can take any form it wants according to where it is. So by him saying be water, my friend, he meant that every situation is different. So we shouldn't be rigid, we shouldn't
We-
fight it, we should just be
We have to mold ourselves according to the
according to the
situations and
situation.
issues that we are faced.
So like what do you think about this quote? Like, does it apply in your real life too, or is it something?
Mm, I I don't say that I particularly thought about this quote while I'm doing my day-to-day life, but I think it's more of a thing that I've been doing on my own. It's like trying to face the situations that I'm in. It's not necessarily feeling bad about where I am or the situation that's happening to me. Sometimes it might get me low emotionally, but I try to adjust myself to it. So in a sense, it could be it could be like be water, my friend. But I wouldn't say that I do it thinking of it that I'm going to change myself and mold myself from the issues and challenges that I'm facing.
You just do it naturally.
Yeah, it's a natural thing,
Go with the
but
flow.
I
Yeah,
don't think that this is necessarily my philosophical way of doing things.
So, we talked about Taoism, the
Yeah.
flow. So this is related to it. Like be water means go with the flow too. Like just go with the flow. Don't be present. That is his main focus, I think.
It's quite difficult to bring up the similarities between Bruce Lee's philosophical way of life and the Taoism philosophy. But I think it has similarities in the sense of how both of them want you to be like a water, but it's more like Bruce Lee wants you to be like a water by taking on the characteristics of water, being a fluid individual, right? But I think in Taoism, it's more like you have to be
Go with the flow.
go with the
Instead
flow.
of
It's like
being the water, you go with
the flow. It's like you are in a stream of water. That's life, and the water is gonna have its own course of ways. But wherever it takes you, you just have to go there and be in a state of flow where everything and everything that you do is coming naturally from within you. Like we talked about how the first quote, don't think, feel. Whenever you're thinking, you're gonna get stuck on your thoughts, right? And their actions will not be as sharp or as efficient as it
Could
could be, right? Similarly, in the Taoist philosophy, it says that you have to be in a state where you have to do actions that are completely natural from you. It's coming within from you, where you're not making unnecessary thoughts, unnecessary adjustments, or having any more efforts. You're just doing it naturally.
There's this quote, uh, life does not come at you, it comes
Comes
from
from
you.
you. I heard Tom Holland say it, I guess.
Timothy,
Timothy, yeah, Timothy,
I don't know how to
Charlemagne,
pronounce
Charlemagne or
it.
something.
Sorry.
He said that in an interview, and he
Interview.
was with Zendaya,
Oh,
and
yeah.
Zendaya was like,
So another quote that I have is, art is really the expression of the self. It is, you know.
art really is the
Art is
expression of
really the expression of the self. So any form of art is you expressing yourself because it comes from within. Art isn't something you don't draw just for someone else. Then you might do it commercially, but for art to be truly yours, it has to come from you, from your soul.
So it's just an expression of how you feel. For instance, there are two artists, and both of them are going to draw same thing, but like concept of same thing. Let's say both of them are told to draw a flower, but the way they draw flowers come from within, and the expression of art
They are expressing their
is that what it's supposed to mean?
yeah, they're expressing their art form uh, in a way that is true to themselves. Like the flower comes out to be how they intended.
How
Because
they
it
view
comes
a
within
flower to
them.
be.
Yeah. How they viewed it as. So art is really the expression of the self. I agree with this.
But maybe he
It
said it
doesn't have
in a
to be
more
only art as in art. It could be like taking photos, writing like art form. Art form is a lot more than
lot of
just
things. Yeah.
drawing.
Yeah, I think when people say art is that's morely just constrained to just painting and drawings. But art is
is
not
much
just
more than
that,
that.
but it's a maybe it can be a playing a musical instrument for someone.
That's why it's called martial art.
Yeah, like when you're also practicing a form of technique to be
Huh.
very fluent and very efficient with it.
Hmm.
Whenever you're punching, right?
Hmm.
There is a form of punching. You just randomly you don't throw a fist in the air. So it's
There's a
like
way of
a way of doing things, and maybe learning that and expressing from who you are is what makes art, I guess.
So another quote he said was, all types of knowledge ultimately mean self-knowledge.
I think in this, I don't actually know what self-knowledge is supposed to convey.
Self-knowledge means knowing yourself first, in a way. Like for example, all types of knowledge ultimately means self-knowledge is before you understand something, you have to truly understand yourself, what you want out of like knowing that. Let's say I want to learn how to use a camera. Before learning that knowledge, I should know myself, why I want to learn a camera, what
Is that
I'm
how?
going to do it with. I like मैले चाहिँ यसरी
The
हेर्छु,
the way
right?
I view it, I think it's more like if you're trying to learn a guitar, or if you're trying to learn a literature, or if you're trying to learn a skill, at the end of the day, all of the things that you learn in your lifetime will ultimately be stored within you. So it's more of a investment in yourself to learn
Yeah,
something.
it makes a lot of
You get
sense.
what I'm trying to say? It's like,
Like this makes a lot of sense than what I thought.
yeah, so for instance, I try to learn what is the meaning of life or what is philosophy, right? At the same time, I'm trying to learn martial arts, or I'm trying to have a fitness goal that I want to achieve, or I might want to do very well academically. So every action that I take through my interest that I want to learn, I think eventually it would all come down to me. So I'll eventually going to be an individual who knows
all of these.
all of these things.
You
So
have the knowledge of all.
I'm actually growing myself through these actions of pursuing this knowledge.
True.
I think that's what it's supposed to mean, rather than
I think that is what it's supposed to mean. Like you are gaining knowledge of a lot of things, but at the end of the day,
it's going to get stored within
stored within you. So
you're
it's
going
like
to elevate.
self-knowledge.
Yeah, you're going to be elevating yourself, and you will eventually reach enlightenment at the end of the day.
You'll be more wise, I
Yeah,
guess.
wiser.
So yeah, this is a better way of looking at it. So another one is also knowledge one. So knowledge will give you power, but character respect.
Yeah, I think character is far more important than just knowledge. I think knowledge is something that you gain through
It can be
experience.
taught, but character has to be
Yeah,
something that you do yourself,
yeah,
not
let's say it's a class, the classiness, like it's, for instance, like uh you can give uh, some unclassy people a lot of money. The way they are going to behave with their money, the way they are going to present
Depends on their
themselves, is not
character.
going to be humble, or it's not going to be elegant in any ways. But if you give someone who has
Good character.
good character a lot of money, then maybe he's going to utilize it in a better way, or present himself in a way that's a little bit more classier, a little bit more humble and gentle. And so because of that reason, it's a lot of things comes down to character and who you actually are, rather than trying to achieve something and being someone. At the end of the day, I think money, knowledge, or everything will actually just amplify who you actually are in your
Amplify.
core, rather than just changing yourself to be something. So you can actually look at someone and judge their character, and you can actually see whether they are a good person or a bad person, and you respect them and you fear them because of their character. So I think character is more important, and knowledge is something that you gain throughout your lifetime and your experience.
I think this applies in like going into employment and stuff. So people hire uh, according to what kind of person, that like personality more than skill. Like I was using LinkedIn and I saw this post from a big CEO or something. Like he told, we hire people looking at their personal quality, like their attitude, their character, how they interact with people, how they can answer a question, like how fast they are with thinking certain things about the job, instead of qualification. Like nowadays people focus more on that because it's easier to teach people skill than their own attitude.
Yeah, character cannot be brought,
Can I get
but skills and knowledge
it can
can
be
be taught.
Yeah. So that is why this is very important to have a character. So when you have a character, you can go into any job
Or any
and
situations
learn.
in life.
Like skills you can learn, but character you have to.
You have to earn it.
Yeah, you have to earn it, and you have to work on it yourself rather than learning it from someone else. So अर्को एउटा कोट छ कि using no way as way, having no limitation as limitation भन्ने. This is a very good quote किनभने like if we put a limitation to what we do, like योसम्म त गर्न सक्छ, or we can only do this भन्यो भने that's the limit सोचेर हामीले गर्छ कि. So no limitation लाई नै limitation राख्यो भने there's no limit to how much we can grow, how much we can learn, how much we can improve हुन्छ नि, त्यस्तो हुन्छ कि. अनि अब युजिङ नो वे एज वेमा चाहिँ
इट्स मोर लाइक अब्स्टिकल इज द वे भन्ने जस्तै भयो.
अब्स्टिकल
लाइक लाइफमा जहिले पनि अब्स्टिकल्सहरू फेस गर्दै जान्छ, अनि वी सुड नट शाई अवे फ्रम इट बट रादर इम्ब्रेस इट भन्ने हिसाबमा. अनि वी हेभ टु अलवेज मेक स्योर कि लाइफमा अब्स्टिकल्सहरू भइरहन्छ, तर वी हेभ टु अलवेज स्ट्यान्ड अप फर इट. वी सुड नट शाई अवे फ्रम इट.
shy away from it.
We should shy away from the challenges that we face
obstacle.
भन्न खोजेको कि.
So no way लाई नै like way जस्तो एमा लिनुपर्छ.
के हुँदैन, कन्टिन्यू गरौँ.
नो वे जस्तो दिनु पर्यो होइन, यो चाहिँ भयो. लाइक अर्को कोट चाहिँ एक्सन इज अ हाई रोड टु सेल्फ कन्फिडेन्स एन्ड एस्टिम भनेर.
जुन चाहिँ यो यही कोर्टमा बसेर होइन देयर इज अलवेज दिस थिङ लाइक सेल्फ एफर्मेसन्सहरू गर्नुपर्छ मिररमा भनेर like I am strong or I'm capable of this. And then you have to do self affirmations or whatever. But I think more of it as if you take actions to improve yourself, whether that's through gym, fitness, or educating yourself, or trying to present yourself a certain way. To the actions or you end up becoming what you want to be. अनि त्यो भएको कारणले गर्दा चाहिँ action is more important to achieving the self confidence and self esteem that's needed to be who you want to be.
त्यो एक्सन नलिकन हुँदैन
Action लिएर पर्छ.
इज अ हाई रोड भनेपछि
It's a fast track to achieving that भनौँ न. But just I
Action
don't
लिनुपर्छ.
believe that just shouting self affirmations in the mirror or just meditating and telling yourself that you're good will actually help you be better. किनभने चाहिँ whenever you're taking actions होइन you're proving yourself that you're capable of better भन्ने कुरा, you're capable of doing much more भन्ने कुरा. अनि यो कुराले गर्दा चाहिँ it's a proof for yourself whenever you're in a situation of doubt. अनि त्यो कुराले गर्दा चाहिँ it gives you a self confidence. Action भन्दाखेरि चाहिँ किनभने you have undeniable proof of success.
अनि यो तर यु नो यो इन अ बुक आई रेड होइन त्यसमा भनेको छ कि इफ यु आर अ कन्फिडेन्ट पर्सन यु वुडन्ट ह्याभ टु look at yourself in the mirror and say if you were rich you would not have to say you were rich, you just are. And if you were mentally okay or like हुन्छ नि जे भयो नि happy or something, like if you were happy you wouldn't have to say that you are happy, you just are भन्छ कि. अनि पहिला चाहिँ आई युज टु हुन्छ नि यो एपोइन्टमेन्ट कि एफर्मेसन नट एफर्मेसन गर्नुपर्छ भनेर आई वाज फर त्यो होइन अगेन्स्ट होइन कि आई वाज फर त्यस्तो गर्नुपर्छ भनेर. तर त्यो बुकमा त्यो भनेपछि आई रियलाइज जो चाहिँ छ त्यो चाहिँ भनिराख्नु पर्दैन, इज जस्ट इज हुन्छ नि. Someone who is happy is happy. He doesn't have to say that I am happy continuously. Someone who is rich doesn't have to say that he is rich continuously. He
मैले
just
चाहिँ
is.
यो सेल्फ एफर्मेसनमा चाहिँ लङ अगो आई वाच द भिडियो कि मेरो ममले देखाएको एक्चुली होइन. यो भिडियोमा चाहिँ के थियो भने चाहिँ देयर इज दिस गाई हु केम थ्रु लट अफ हार्डसिप्स. अनि हि वाज वर्किङ फर दिस हि वाज अ सेल्स पर्सन वर्किङ फर अ कम्पनी होइन. अनि he was having difficulties in his job पनि के. अनि त्यो हुँदाखेरि अनि he went to the mirror, he did this routine where he was telling himself that he will be the best salesperson, he will be the best salesperson भनेर. अनि he started embodying that characteristics of a good salesperson, let's say, right? And he actually ended up becoming one of the highest salesperson in his company. त्यो भएकोले received a lot of money and like self-esteem बढ्दै गयो बेसिकली. अनि त्यो कम्पनीमा स्ट्यान्डिङ पनि बढ्दै गयो होइन. अनि he was sharing this information like how self affirmations are important and how it has helped him भन्ने कुरा. And I think that it's not about just self-esteem and talking about self affirmations. It is also very important कि त्यो गर्नु हुँदैन भन्ने हिसाबमा होइन कि त्यो चाहिँ कस्तो हुनुपर्छ भने चाहिँ you should always have a positive talk with yourself. Okay? I think you would end up believing everything that you say about yourself. So म अब नराम्रो मान्छे हो, I'm not capable of anything or I'm not capable of any good भनेर मैले I constantly hammer myself with those kind of harsh words भन्यो भने I'll end up embodying that characteristics. Okay? I'll
Even
be
if
more
you say it jokingly, your mind wouldn't know.
yeah. So jokingly पनि भन्नु
Your
हुँदैन
mind
भनेर
doesn't
भन्छ
know
के.
the difference between a joke and it's just
Yeah,
words.
so you are telling yourself that you are certain way भनेपछि you will start acting like it के. So त्यो भएकोले चाहिँ आफूलाई चाहिँ कहिले पनि नेगेटिभ
तल राखेर बोल्नु.
तल राखेर बोल्नु हुँदैन भनेर भन्छ कि. So always be positive towards yourself and always be empowering about yourself. So त्यो कुराले हेर्दाखेरि चाहिँ having this positive talk is important, but those positive talks should be backed up with actions.
यो मैले भनेको त्यो एफर्मेसनवाला पनि छ नि, लाइक आइम नट सेइङ इट्स ब्याड, लाइक नगरै होइन कि it should be backed with action. It should be backed by action. You cannot just keep on saying to the mirror that I am rich, while you're not doing anything to be rich.
Yeah,
So
exactly.
you have to back everything that you say with action.
Yeah.
Like without action, you're just saying words to yourself in the mirror.
Yeah.
So अर्को एउटा quote चाहिँ it is like a finger pointing away to the moon. Don't concentrate on the finger or else you will miss all the heavenly glory. Like this is one of the quotes from his movies.
Movies.
Like अघि हामीले हेरेको थियौँ नि.
तिमीले मलाई अघि नै देखाएको थियो टपमा प्याट प्याट प्याट
बच्चालाई।
बच्चालाई देखाउँदै थियो आई थिङ्क वाट इज ट्राइङ टु से इन दिस इज if you're looking at your finger that's pointing to a certain goals that far away from you, then I think you'll be so concentrated towards your finger that you will not notice whatever that's happening around you. More in a sense
You wouldn't be present.
you wouldn't be present and you will never realize how far you have actually gone to achieve that goal, and you'll always be stuck just pointing it.
Pointing
It's like we always talk about how it's not about the goal, it's about the journey. You learn a lot more about who you are when you're actually striving to achieve something. So through that hardships, through that ups and downs, you learn a lot about who you are and how to deal with surroundings and how to be, like Bruce Lee says, water to their surroundings. So त्यो कुरामा एडजस्ट गर्नलाई चाहिँ, त्यो कुरा सिक्नलाई चाहिँ प्रेजेन्ट मोमेन्टमा प्रेजेन्ट भएर नै हामीले चाहिँ हाम्रो गोल्स या जर्नीलाई फोकस गर्यो भने चाहिँ you will be more, that journey will be more fruitful and more rewarding at the end of it when you achieve it. Whereas if you were to just focus on your fingers pointing at a goal, then you would just get stuck at looking at the goal and not everything that is happening around you.
That is true. So another quote that is, the possession of anything begins in the mind. This is very true, I think.
Is it related to manifestation?
The possession of anything begins in the mind. Yes. Like it is manifestation.
Like you already visualize yourself having something
in while having that higher frequency, so that your mind also vibrates in the same frequency and you achieve it. But everything is backed by action.
Yeah, action is like the king of everything.
किनभने if you don't think about it, like success comes to people, those who are success conscious हुन्छ नि.
You need to be conscious about
it.
Goals and improvement that you're trying to do.
त्यही भन्न खोजेको जस्तो लाग्यो चाहिँ.
There's this saying, you don't finish a book by mistake. You are consciously reading through the pages word by word and trying to learn what the book is trying to say and
achieve something
to finish that book, right? Similarly, if someone is successful, then they don't become successful overnight. There is a set of plans and repetition and conscious idea of what they were doing.
The manifestationमा पनि, like the way to manifest is seeing it in your head, like seeing it in your head like you already have it. Like if you want a car, just close your eyes, or like you close your eyes and imagine you driving that car and like seeing around as if you're inside the car, holding the steering wheel, like as if you are there, like just imagining it would smell like this or it would see like this. This is how it would feel. Like you can like assume that feeling in the and if you do that, there's a higher chance of you achieving it backed by action. It has to be backed by action.
It's more manifestation. What I tend to think about it this way. There's either a scarcity mindset or abundance mindset. If you're people with a scarcity mindset, then you're always going to feel like you lack something, whether that's relationships in your life or whether that's finances or whether that's your goal and ambition. You always feel like you're lacking something and you're chasing something, trying to get it. Whereas when you're in a abundant mindset, you always have an abundance of everything, so you're not chasing it. So it's more of like you have it and eventually you will get it, and you're attracting.
It comes to you.
You're attracting those things to come to you.
Law of attraction.
Yeah.
Law of attraction.
I think this is more like this is how manifestation should be done, using attraction and abundant mindset rather than scarcity.
So another quote is, art calls for complete mastery of techniques developed by reflection within the soul.
This
Art,
sounds like something Bruce Lee would say in a movie.
art calls, like art may be martial art. I think he meant martial art. Art calls for complete mastery of techniques developed by reflection within the soul. I feel like you need to know how to do certain stuff, but at the same time, you have to be true to yourself. It should come from within rather than just doing it for the sake of doing it.
Yeah,
It has to come from the soul. It should reflect what you think from
yeah.
inside instead of just being like गर्नु परेर गरेको.
I think it's well also the fact that how Bruce Lee talks about being in a flow state.
Mm.
I think you have to be in a state of flow where whatever you're trying to draw or whatever you're trying to do, but it's not just drawing and painting. Art is more vast than that. It can be a music. It can be an artist trying to create a song. It can be a martial artist trying to perform a technique in a perfection. So it's like whatever an artist is trying to do, is trying to do it from the purest form, and that's from within. And while he's doing it, there might be a point where the techniques might not be as perfect, or whatever he's doing might not be as purest. So he's going back to himself to reflect on the things that he's done, right or wrong, so that he can do it in a better way the next time around.
I think art is just something like if you create something that is art.
Yeah,
So martial art is also you creating ways to defend yourself, ways to attack, ways to like if you create something, you're an artist.
yeah, just like Bruce Lee created
Jeet Kune Do.
Jeet Kune Do.
Yes. So another one is to know oneself is to study oneself in action with another person. This is a very good one.
Can you say it again?
Like to know oneself is to study oneself in action with another person.
So it's like you're comparing yourself with other people.
I see it this way. Like to know oneself, you cannot just sit alone and be like, I lack this, I need this, I need growth in this. We have to interact with people, right? Like in any instance, like
Yeah,
we
we
wake
are a
up, we have
social
to do,
being. We
like we
live
have
in a
to go out.
society,
Yeah,
so we are always going to be
yeah.
engaging with other people.
So to know oneself, we have to interact with people to know how we perform during those interactions so that we know what we can improve upon. We
Yeah.
cannot just stay inside alone in confinement and be like, this is where I need improvement when you don't even know what it's like to interact with people.
And you don't even know what's lacking in the social world, and you're just trying to sit there alone and trying to say that I lack this and I lack that. It's not going to work. So you have to put yourself in a situation where you are trying to see how you perform against other people and what you can improve upon. I think
Yeah.
that's what you're trying to say.
Yeah, so no matter what, you have to interact with people. No matter how introverted you are, no matter how shy you are, you have to interact with people so that to live, like to simply live, you have to interact with people.
Yeah.
You have to. So if you have to, if that's a requirement, then we should study ourselves when we how do we interact with people and how we can improve upon that because that matters a lot in everything we do.
I think this also helps in another way as well, because there's quite a lot of things that says that you should always compare yourself with who you were yesterday. Whether that's good to progress yourself, to see the progression, but at the end of the day, you're not competing with yourself only. So you're gonna be out there with like-minded individual like yourself who's as highly or lower skilled than you in various different domains of life. So whenever you're just comparing yourself with yourself, you don't get the chance to compare yourself with other people to see where you actually stand in the social hierarchy. So when you compare yourself with other people and you realize there's the deficiency that you have, then you can actually work on those deficiencies to actually be a better person or a better competition to other people, let's say.
I think this quote is from comes from martial art. Like you cannot just practice martial art. Like we saw a video in like one of his opponents breaks a wood, and
Yeah.
he was like
He's unfazed by it,
he's
and
on
his
face,
the
and he
opponent
said,
does it again, and he's still unfazed by it,
and he
he's like,
says woods don't hit back.
yeah, he's not intimidated by it.
So I feel like यो हुन्छ नि कि मार्सल आर्ट त्यस्तो हुँदाखेरि चाहिँ मार्सल आर्ट प्र्याक्टिस गर्दाखेरि चाहिँ if we do it alone, we're just practicing alone. We might think we're good,
We
but
might
until
perfect a
and
technique.
for perfect a technique, and we might think we're good or we're so fast.
Mm.
But until and unless we fight with another human being, that is like interact with another person, we wouldn't know what we lack.
Yeah. So similarly, मेरो एकचोटि पहिला अफिसमा चाहिँ होइन, like we were having this conversation with one of my mentors, let's say, he was also my boss. So he told me that a lot of people can perform a very good job. If they are taught, they can perform a very good job. But it's not about how good of a job you can perform when you have no pressure. But in the situations of pressure, how you either can you perform those job at the highest level or not. So it's about putting yourself in this pressurizing situation and trying to do those basic things and being able to do it perfectly. I read in one of the books पनि, I don't quite remember कुन चाहिँमा, त्यसमा चाहिँ के भनेको थियो भने चाहिँ, I think it's said by Napoleon or something, right? So he says like great people aren't those who does extraordinary things. Great people are those who does simple things in the difficult times. Is this something relatedमा भनेको थियो कि? So it's like you have to do those basic कुराहरू राम्ररी, instead of just trying to do this perfection वालाहरू मात्र होइन कि डिफिकल्टिज कुरा हुँदाखेरि पनि, situations of hardships हुँदाखेरि पनि, you are true to your responsibilities and what you have to do. You do it in perfection.
So another quote is, "To change with change is the changeless state."
You're so accustomed to constant changes that you
You
become
don't know if you're changing or not. Like you're in a same state. If you keep on changing with the change, you stay the same state.
I think what he's trying to say is,
It is. That's the
like,
thing.
the time is always going to change you, and you
But if you
take on
keep
the
changing with it,
yeah,
you are changeless.
yes,
You are changing with it. Like if you don't change with the change, you would not be in a changeless state. But if you keep changing with the change,
it's interesting to think
like
about it that
in
way.
relative to the change, you are not changing the wherever
That's a very confusing
life
thing
is
to
going.
say.
Yeah.
I'm confused by what you're trying to say. But I've understood it in this way. Like, since you're always going to keep changing, right? And you make it your characteristic that you are okay with the change. So you now embody the characteristics of always changing. So now you are changeless.
Oh, that is what I meant.
Yeah.
You did understand it.
Yeah, I did understand.
So another quote is, "Moving, be like water. Still, be like mirror. Respond like an echo." I think this comes from martial art. Moving, you have to be like water, where you have to like be agile and still be like a mirror. So while you're looking at the opponent, you have to
Mirror them.
mirror them and respond like an echo. Like whatever they do, you have to do it in a way that defends yourself, I guess. I might be wrong in this because
But
I
yeah,
don't really understand.
it makes sense that
That.
way, but in real world, it would be very difficult to actually say what that would mean or how that would play out.
Maybe this comes from
I think maybe it's
his
just martial arts only. Or
So
maybe it's a quote that he used to teach his disciples in a way,
Oh.
or like the students.
Let's not get into that because we don't understand
we don't
martial art. So another one is, "To express yourself in freedom, you must die to everything of yesterday." So I think this is letting go of the past. Until and unless you let go of the past, you will never be present or have a better future. To express yourself in freedom, you won't be free. You'll always be stuck in something that happened in the past. That is why you won't be able to express yourself in the current moment freely.
Yeah, that makes sense.
This is a good one.
Yeah.
This is about letting go, in a way.
letting go.
So another one is we do not live for, we simply live.
This has lots of similarities with the previous podcast that we have done regarding different philosophies.
Maybe this came in Taoism.
But Taoism doesn't necessarily say that we simply live, does it?
These are
I
very
think
similar, but
similar
in a
in a different perspective.
perspective. Yeah.
Yeah. Just like in, I think it's in nihilism that it says that we simply
Oh,
live and everything that is happening is just existence in the world and there is no such thing as good and bad. So whatever happens is just happening
Oh, I
regardless.
remember this one. Like we do not live for, we simply live. That means for me, I interpret it as we do not simply live for, which means you're not attached to things. You're just living for yourself, for you. Like you're not attached to material things, people, like what, like you're not affected by it. You're just living. You're not living for someone
Or for
for
something.
something, but you're just living for you in peace.
That makes sense.
That makes
Yeah.
sense, right? So another one is be a practical dreamer backed by action. We have talked about this. Like it should be backed by action.
Yeah,
Everything.
this is something that we have been constantly talking
Constantly
throughout
talking
this
about.
course.
I don't think we need to talk anymore about this. So another one is the key to immortality is first living a life worth remembering. Which is true.
Yeah,
You have to leave something behind for you to be
yeah,
remembered.
leaving
for.
behind a legacy. And for the legacy to be left and remember, you should always have
Done
done
something
something that's memorable
impactful.
or impactful.
Like Bruce Lee.
Yeah.
Like we were talking about him.
Yeah, he
He
died
died
such
at
in
32.
30
Yeah.
young age, but
He left so
whatever,
much.
yeah,
He
whatever he
people
has
still
left
talk.
is still been talked like
Oh.
we are talking right now.
People are still applying his techniques,
Yeah.
his philosophy, like we are right now. So another one is be proficient in your field as well as in harmony among fellow men.
Be proficient in the
Be proficient in your field as well as in harmony among fellow men. I think this is this
brothers,
makes sense
brotherhood.
in
one
what
could
we
have
talked
also.
about earlier about you should have laser focus on your goal without being too much affected by the obstacles that comes in the way. Like we talked about this.
Yeah, we did.
Like I think this relates to that.
Be proficient in your field as well as harmony
So be
amongst fellow.
proficient means you have to be focused on your goal, but as well as in harmony among fellow men means you shouldn't do anything unethical or you shouldn't be so hell bent on achieving that goal ki you affect your fellow men unethically or you hurt someone or something like that. So you should be mindful about both. You should be in balance. This doesn't make
But
sense.
it does make sense in how you're trying to say. तर मैले अघि नै भनेको सिचुएसन चाहिँ it's quite different than this.
No, it's different that I find a little bit of connection.
Yeah.
It's kind of
But the viewers don't know
Oh.
the backstory.
So and that is why I just said the goal and
Yeah. And I don't know how to explain that backstory, Faye.
we don't have to.
Yeah.
It's okay. We can skip that. So truth is outside of all patterns. This is a bit confusing one. And the truth is outside of all patterns. Maybe this means like nobody tells you the whole truth. Like you cannot think this might be the truth by looking at a pattern of someone doing something. Someone might do something because they want you to see them in that way, but the truth might be something else. So truth is outside of all patterns.
Uh,
That may be it. That is how I interpret
I
it.
don't quite know what it's trying to say because let's
It's very
say that Buddha, he was doing all of his meditations. It wasn't different meditations each and every day. He must have practiced some sort of similar meditation format or ideas of meditation and sticking on to a singular question of whatever that he might be asking to get the enlightenment, right? So through his patterns of meditations and thoughts, he achieved enlightenment and became Buddha, right? So similarly, he achieved his absolute truth through patterns and habits in a way, right? So how does going out of pattern give you the truth? Because if I want to achieve a great body, then I have to go to the gym every single day. I have to eat right. So that's following a pattern. Regardless of whether the fitness goal of mine can be considered truth or not, I will eventually achieve that truth because of the pattern that I follow.
But that truth might not be seen by me. So you might go to the gym to impress someone, let's say. That is your truth. But I might see it as, oh, he's going to the gym because of his pattern of going to the gym. He's going to the gym for fitness or uh, to look like a certain person. But your truth is you want to impress someone. See, and that is the thing I'm talking about. So your truth might be different, but the way I'm seeing is like you're doing a certain pattern, but the truth is different from what I think the truth is. So the truth is outside of all patterns. I feel like that is how I
Maybe, but it's also
interpret it.
about there's this saying, do not believe what you see and believe what you find out about that person while talking to them.
Believe what you see.
Do not believe what you see and only believe in the things that you find out through talking with them once again.
Don't just assume stuff.
Yeah.
You have to know the
Unless
person.
now, when it, going back to the example that you gave, if you didn't know me and you just saw my persona of being a healthy or disciplined guy, but the truth was that I was trying to work out to impress other people, then if you get the chance to know me and who I was, then maybe you could have gotten the chance to know what kind of a person was I? Was I doing fitness to improve myself, or was I going to the gym to just impress
With
other
someone.
people?
Yeah. Was it for yourself or for someone
Yeah.
else? Were you living for yourself or were you living for someone?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that makes sense. So another one is eliminate not clear thinking and function from your root. I think this has to do with thinking about stuff clearly.
Yeah, maybe can you say it again?
Eliminate not clear thinking and function from your root. From your root means from your
The mind.
no, from your mind, I
Yeah, I
guess.
think this resonates more from the situation that I was talking about. Like if I had
Oh, yeah.
laser focus on my goal of achieving some certain things, right? And like I said, that I used to have this thought process where even though I was laser focused and my eyes were on the goal, I was constantly surrounded by these other sub thoughts of what was going
What
to
might
happen,
happen.
what might happen, or how am I going to tackle with this, or how am I going to deal with this. So there's always going to be this diverse in the concentration and mind before I achieve my goal. So I think maybe implementing, on trying to understand what this actually is trying to say and trying to implement this in life would give me better results than that I'm getting right now.
I think you're like there's a thing called I think it's called target fixation or fixation where this is a term used in traffic or something. Like if you're driving a bike, most people focus on the fixate on the obstacle, so that is why they go there. Like
Yeah, that
instead
actually
of that,
happens.
yeah,
Yeah,
instead of that, you should focus on a way out.
yeah. So it usually happens when you're like
I forgot what it's
riding.
called.
So it's like if you're
Term.
going to take a turn, right, and you're so fixated on that particular turn and not turning itself, you feel like you're turning, but you're actually not. So it's like just going straight to that turn.
No. This
त्यो
is
हुन्छ के
त्यो अर्कै होला तर the thing I'm talking about is something target fixation or something. I forgot the term. I think it's target fixation, but I forgot the term. But like there are a lot of videos of people just going into the obstacle, like driving and going. त्यो किन हुन्छ भनेपछि
ए सो इट्स डिफरेन्ट या
त्यो किन हुन्छ भनेपछि त्यो टार्गेटमा जानु हुँदैन सोच्दा सोच्दै त्यो दिमागमा टार्गेट मात्र हुन्छ नि त अनि त्यो टार्गेटमै ड्राइभ गरेर गर्न जान्छु अनि आई फिल लाइक दिस इज द्याट like that is the term. I forgot the term. I think it's fixation, target fixation or something like that. So another one is do not run away, let go. Do not seek, for it will come when least expected.
Do not run, let
Let
go.
go. Do not run, let go. Do not seek, for it will come when least expected.
So it's like the manifestation.
Yeah, don't be so fixated on like achieving something. Just do what you're supposed to do and let go.
Whatever
Instead
is
of
meant to
just
happen,
being
it will happen.
obsessed with something. For example,
Whatever yours, it will be yours.
yeah, for example, you and I both look at YouTube Studio too much, looking at the subscribers of our podcast.
Yeah, which
Yeah.
many of you aren't subscribed, so please subscribe.
So I feel like that is what it means. Do not just keep on focusing on, do not run away, let go, do not seek, for it will come when least expected. We should just keep on improving and it will come to us.
Yeah,
The target we have, it may be anything like 1,000 subscribers or 10,000, anything. It
Yeah.
will come to us when we least expect it. We
Mm.
should just keep on working on towards being better.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Do you have anything to add?
No,
No.
I think that's quite valid. And most important thing is always trying to do what's necessary. What's
Focus on
asked
the
of you.
process rather than
Yeah.
being too obsessed with the goal. So another one is it is easy to teach one to be skillful, but it is difficult to teach him his own attitude. I think we have talked about this.
Yeah, it's similarly like
It's the same.
character thing.
We talked about it.
Knowledge gives you power.
No, the employment one. The LinkedIn
Yeah,
employment, yeah.
yeah.
So another one is you will never get any more out of life than you expect. You have to be clear on what you want. If you don't know what you want, you'll never get it.
Mm.
Like there's a
So it goes back to the limitation one, the limitation goal.
It's similar, but this one is like
So
there's
if there is no limitation, then nothing is holding you back.
Mm.
There is no ceiling to your potential. So if you can dream big enough, then how big would you dream? So you will achieve whatever you think you will achieve.
Oh yeah,
I think it's similar in that
it's
thing.
similar. Yeah. Like there's a video from Chris Williamson, I think. He talks about like if you have a goal, you are more likely to achieve it. But if you don't have a goal, if you have a goal, you're more likely to achieve it. But if you don't have a target that you're focusing on, you're 100% likely to fail. So which one would you rather do?
So you have to set targets to yourself to achieve that goal.
Yeah. If you don't set target, you would fail 100%. But alternative to that is setting a goal and having a probability of 50%, 30%, even 1% is better than not having a goal or target and failing 100%.
Yeah.
So another one is knowledge is
Is it
fixed.
the last one?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Knowledge is fixed in time, whereas knowing is continual. Knowledge is fixed in time, whereas knowing is continual.
This was one of the cards that confused us
I
while
think
we were
we did.
filtering the good ones.
Knowing is fixed in time, whereas knowledge is fixed in time.
I think what is this supposed to say is regardless of us knowing the absolute truth or knowledge doesn't mean that it does not exist. So for instance, let's say that we never discovered dinosaur. We never discovered dinosaur, right?
Where did dinosaur come?
Like I'm just gonna give you an example. So let's say that dinosaur, we never find out that dinosaur were alive. But that does not mean that dinosaur never existed.
So that's knowledge.
Yeah. right? So just like there might be so many knowledge that we have only uncovered certain chapters of it right now, right? But the remaining knowledge that we haven't learned about or haven't understood about, that does not mean that those knowledge does not exist, but they do. But the fact that we're constantly trying to learn new things, trying to uncover more chapters of those knowledge, so knowing is always continual and knowledge is always existent. I think that's what it's trying to say.
Does make sense.
So even like if you were looking at it from the human civilization point of time,
Wonderful.
there has been a lot of civilization across the world, and many of them had different sort of technology. You could look at Indian civilizations, and they were fast technologically. They had created these great temples and great civilizations, and they were culturally also they were extremely great civilization, right? You can look at Egyptian civilizations, and they had built these pyramids, which is unthinkable even now. How did they do it? Some say it's alien, some say it's technology from the past that we never know exists. And you can go at more of like South American civilizations, similar situations, right? I think it's more like there were knowledge back then about different sort of things that we don't know now. Maybe us as a civilization evolved into more technology that we are familiar right now. But maybe those technology were not limited to just this. Maybe there was technology way beyond our understanding, and that has all been lost to our time. So maybe eventually, when we grow as a civilization, maybe we will learn more about these civilizations and uncover more about our past civilizations, and maybe we will know what kind of a technology and understanding of the world that they have. But for now, we are limited, right? So for us,
It's just
we
knowing.
we are just constantly knowing, but those knowledge is always constant because those things actually existed.
Happen. It has already happened and is in
yeah,
time.
time.
So there is this quote: ki, observe what is useful, discard what is not, add what is uniquely your own. यो कोट चाहिँ ब्रुसलीले भने जस्तो लाग्यो मलाई ब्रुसली नै भन्यो लाइक यो मैले रिसर्च गर्दाखेरि ब्रुसलीले नै
ब्रुसलीको स्पेशल पोडकास्ट ब्रुसलीले भन्यो
होइन रिसर्च गरेँ होइन अब त्यस्तो हुनसक्छ नि त
लाइक भनेको हो कि होइन कन्फर्मेसन
कसैले भनेको थियो अनि ब्रुसलीले फेरि त्यो मान्छेको भनेको हुनसक्छ नि त
like
नट
quote
नेसेसरी
गरेको।
he said it त्यसैले so the quote is observe what is useful discard what is not add what is uniquely your own.
आई थिङ्क सिमिलर टु दिस हामीले पहिला प्रिभियस पोडकास्टहरूमा पनि कुरा गरेछ चेरी पिकिङवालामा अब वान अफ द फेमस एक्जाम्पल्स आर एन्ड्रु टेट भनौँ न अनि लाइक he tells a lot of things that is controversial. He talks a lot about women and how men should be भन्ने हिसाबमा
That is the thing that we discard.
yeah discard
We absorb the mentality that he wants us to have, and he add what is uniquely your own. Is you should also add
your
what is
own personal touch to it. Maybe he says that he gives a lot of useful advices like you should always have a improving mindset where you are constantly trying to improve yourself, trying to improve how you speak, and going out to the gym, trying to do your best, and always having this energy that is directed towards positiveness and goodness. So these are the characteristics that we can take, and we can add our own unique flavor to it. So we can absorb it and make it our own and embody it, let's say.
For any kind of art, we need to have these three things जस्तो लाग्छ. Like there's a book called Still Like an Artist. So in that book, it is said that for you to create good art, you have to steal, not copy, but steal from a lot of people and add your own twist to it. So absorb what is useful from the creators that you want. For example, in our podcast, absorb what is useful. That is, absorb every bit of content that is useful to us and for us to apply. Then discard what is not. Like from each podcast that we get inspired by, we discard the things that we don't
Unnecessary
need,
things.
unnecessary
Yeah.
things, and after that we add what is uniquely our own, which is our own personal touch.
Yeah.
So
Through
every
this
art,
podcast, we are adding this personal touch
yeah.
to whatever we think.
So for an art to be considered great, not just good, it needs to have that uniqueness too. Not just copying things from others. We need to like nothing is new under the sun भन्ने एउटा concept छ कि. There's a concept that says nothing is new under the sun. So the things we have done, the things we have said has already been said by someone else a long time ago. So it's just about copying, not copying, just copying, let's say copying things from
Taking
people,
things.
not 100%, but from person A we take 20%, from person B we take 5%, from person C we take certain percent, and we at the end of the day we make our own.
Yeah, so
with
there
a
is this
personal touch.
video that I watched, and it's about a business related video. So he says that you might be looking at 4 or 5 different content creators that are telling you to do certain things that works for them. Or you're surrounded by people who are doing certain businesses and they all have different strategies. So what you can do is, like, whenever you're learning and whenever you're starting up, you can analyze all of those content creators or all of those people that you look up to, and you take the attributes that you think that you can implement and works for you. So you take all of the different attributes from all of the YouTubers and mentors that inspire you. So whenever you take all of those things and when you make your own something, then that thing is going to be unique in itself. So that's going to be your unique touch, and that's going to be personalized and unique to you. So now that's going to be a certain different kind of things in the market.
Yeah. So
So just like Bruce Lee himself, he created his own martial art,
yeah.
and that martial art takes the best attributes of all of the various
Martial arts.
fighting forms there are.
Yeah,
He took
Jeet Kune Do.
Jeet Kune Do. So he took certain parts from karate, then he took certain parts from martial arts and certain parts from jujutsu maybe. So he used all of the things that made his philosophy
Unique.
So because of that, I think that quote must be said by Bruce Lee.
Bruce Lee.
So if you like, whenever if you were to think about it, for his perspective that he is as a person, this would be very unique to him. The fighting form that he has created. So because of that, this applies there.
So another one is knowing is not enough. We must apply. Willing is not enough. We must do.
I think it applies more in today's world, I guess.
Like procrastination.
Yeah,
This is for the
it's not just
procrastinators out
yeah.
there.
And this is also for the viewers who are consuming a lot of self-help books, a lot of self-motivation content, but not taking an action to at least get at least a step ahead in your life. So I think many of us are stuck in this digital world where we are consuming these books
Books
that
or
tell us,
videos or
yeah,
anything.
books, videos, anything that tell us to do certain things to be better or to earn more money or to be more successful or to be a certain persona that we want to be.
You're getting this knowledge.
Yeah,
You
we are consuming a lot of knowledge, but at the end of the day, it's nothing without any application. I've started reading and getting into self-help for probably around 6 or 7 years now. As much as content I have consumed from these so-called
self-help books,
self-help books and
videos,
motivators, they have grown exponentially, and I as a consumer had stayed relatively linear or thereabout.
I have
not grown to
as
the exponential much, right? So maybe since reading all of these books, even if I could apply or retain the knowledge, then I could maybe have reached a little bit more higher than where I am right now, right? And I think it's more about action at the end of the day, because I have read so many books, and if someone were to ask, like, what is the something that you learned from this book, then I'll have very hard time remembering, because you consume content and you discard the information that you don't need. It works like that in the mind. So although you're consuming all of these things, and at the moment you might feel like these kind of books or these kind of conversations are motivating and inspiring you to do something, but you're not actually going anywhere without any action. So there must be an action, an execution of plan.
So knowing is not enough. For me, it's like just knowing or reading a book, that's not enough. We must apply the knowledge that we gain from the book. And willing is not enough. We must do. I think that has to do with we. It's easier to say, I want to do this. I'm willing to do this for you. I'm willing to do that for you. If it's in terms of a person, or I'm willing to do this for my business, or I'm willing to do this for my channel. But willing is not enough. We must do. We must do what we said we were willing to do. Without it, it's just words.
Yeah. It's the action that counts.
Action speaks louder than words. So another one is, this is a really good one. I fear not the man who has practiced 10,000 kicks once, but I fear the man who has practiced one kick 10,000 times. I think this has to do with
This is also one of the very
repetition.
popular quotes.
Yeah, repetition.
Yeah, it's the reputation and discipline to
To a
master
certain-
a technique, an art form.
Yeah.
Like the previous quotes also talks about embodying this art form, embodying this perfection. And I think this quote also tries to emphasize on that particular point. Like if you were to practice 10,000 different kind of techniques or fight styles, then you were never going to get good at any of it. The execution is always going to be poor, and nothing will come from within. But if you were to do it one particular fight style or one particular technique and repeat it and have a reputation for like 10,000 times, then you're going to learn about the minor changes that you need to do to be more perfect than you were yesterday, or to be more, in a way, it's more like it's coming from within. So I think it try to focus on that part, reputation, that it creates perfection.
I think this goes with anything that you do. Like, instead of being a generalized person who is just doing this also, that also, we should be more focused on one thing and specialized on that one thing instead of being jack of all trades.
There is this there's the second half to this quote. Do you know that?
Second half.
Yeah, so
There's
like
more-
you said that jack of all trade and master of none.
Oh, master of none.
Right.
Is left
This-
there.
It is a single quote, right? We are always used to hearing jack of all trade and master of none. But there is another quote after that.
Yeah.
It's told by William Shakespeare. I don't exactly for word to word say it, but it's more like it's better to be knowledgeable about various things rather than just being master of one and be oblivious about other things. So think about it this way. So if you are only capable at one particular thing and you are always going to be known for it and you're always going to talk and do that particular thing, then you're always going to be limited to that particular set of skills or that particular set of experiences. But whereas even in a business sense, if I know how to do a little bit of everything, then I can be a help in all the other business areas. So because of that, being a jack of all trades is much more beneficial than just being master of one. For instance, like if you were to just learn about philosophy, then philosophy will be all the things that you can talk about. But if you were to learn a little bit about psychology, a little bit about history, a little bit about culture, then you create this more in-depth understanding of the singular thing that you're learning as well. So it will help you in understanding
It
the
will help you in talking while talking with various types of people. Like now you can have a conversation with a psychologist. Now you
Yeah.
can have a conversation with an archaeologist if you know about it. Like to know more is good.
yeah,
Like
to know more about
various
many things is
Yeah.
good.
Instead of just knowing one thing.
One
When
thing.
you just know one thing, let's say you just know about archaeology, you might be the best at talking about archaeology,
But
but
you'll only get
outside of
stuck there.
that, you're no one. Like not no one. You'd be known as an archaeologist, but while talking to other people about
You'll be
different
very
interests.
you'll be very one-dimensional.
Yeah,
You
one
would not
dimension
have
and
more dynamism to yourself.
yeah. So after that, another one is, this is a really good one. Do not pray for an easy life. Pray for the strength to endure a difficult one. This is a very good one because we often say and pray for, I hope it's easy. I hope the exam is easy. I hope the question paper is easy. I hope the uh, driving test is easy. Or I hope starting a business is easy. Or I hope starting this podcast
Would
and
be an easy job.
and gaining followers would be easy. But what we should focus on is, even if it's hard, I hope I have the strength to endure it and go
Get
through
through
it, get through it.
Yeah.
I need the strength to endure it, endure the difficult times too, because
Yeah.
difficult times are a constant, are like obvious, it's gonna happen.
It's an
So
constant
we
thing in
should
life.
focus on enduring that difficult time rather than wanting an easier life. Do you want to add something to it? Or
I agree with all of the things that you said and what the quote stands for on its own. So, yeah, you're always going to have difficulties in your life, and instead of just shying away from it or hoping that it would be better, it would get better, I think trying to create that strength within yourself is more wiser than to ask for
an easier life.
easier life.
Like I've started to do this. Like while I pray, I don't ask for like exam passos like that. I just ask, give me the strength to like give answers even if it's difficult. Or
Yeah, I also do
like
this.
like after I knew this quote, I started doing that instead of asking like I hope estos estos. I don't usually pray, but when I do, I don't ask for it.
So I usually have this morning routine where I wake up and the first thing that I do is I have this ritual of praying. And after I'm done, and there is always this, always use this similar phrase. I've always similar same thing to say every day, and I say that I want you to give me the strength to walk on the right path and to stand for what's right. And I say another things.
That you cannot say it here.
Yeah, I wouldn't say it here.
Okay, another one is, the successful warrior is the average man with laser-like focus. This is very true. Like if you
A
think
successful
about it,
warrior is
the successful warrior is an average man with laser-like focus. So if you think about it, everyone who is successful in their own field, like Cristiano Ronaldo or Tom Brady or Marcus, not Marcus Aurelius, Magnus Carlsen. Sorry.
Magnus Carlsen.
Chess.
It's chess, yes.
Yeah.
I was like, kahavada hai Magnus Carlsen. Oh,
Chess
yeah.
and any field, it doesn't have to like Joe Rogan or anything. So there's just people that are average. Everyone is just there. They are just people who have laser-like focus on what they're doing.
Yeah.
And
So there is this. It reminded me of this quote. A fool with a plan will always beat a winner with no plan, or something like this. Have you
Like-
heard of it?
yeah, while searching for this quote,
There was something like this. A fool with a plan will always beat a loser without a plan. Basically, that's what it's trying to say. But I can't quite remember the quote.
I
And
think
it
it
tries
was
to
a
say
way
the
of
same
fool-
thing.
Yeah, something like that. I forgot.
Yeah, but it's a quite popular quote.
I think Bruce Lee had said that too, but I did not include in this.
Maybe.
So another one is, defeat is a state of mind. No one is ever defeated until defeat has been accepted as a reality in the mind. Not in the mind, like it's not, it hasn't said in the mind, that I added it.
You made it even better.
No, in the
Yeah,
it is
yeah.
in the
This
mind.
is true. This is
So
true.
defeat is a
Yes.
state of mind.
Oh,
No one is ever defeated until defeat has been accepted as a reality in your mind.
Yeah.
Until and unless you say I am defeated,
There is
you're
this-
not. there's
It's not
always
it's not
something.
over until I
Like,
win. There's this saying.
it's not over until it's over.
You know, there's this saying like it's more like this. The motivational videos are mountain.
It's not
It's
over
not
until it's
over
over.
until I win. There's this
Ah.
song. I don't know the song name. The छकै एउटा like lyrics मा चाहिँ हैन.
अँ,
And त्यसपछि similar to that, right?
Hmm.
Like if you have
it's
this
not over until it's
winner mindset, then you're always going to try to
Hmm.
win, and just get out of that hard times. But
like everything is mindset. Like the thing that differentiates the greatest people that are in their own
Hmm.
like own field and people who are just average is the mindset. The people that have the greatest achievements are the people who has an unshakable mindset of like I can do this.
do you know David Goggins?
Yeah. So how would I not know David
So
Goggins?
David Goggins has this rule.
Rule.
Yeah. So it's like he says that your mind gives up way longer, way ahead than your body does.
Hmm.
So when your mind says that it's in your but you have reached your limitation, then you're only 40% to your limitation. He says
I've
that.
noticed that this while doing gym. Like
Gym.
I had this not incident. Like I was doing this one exercise, right? So to weight, I was only doing like you can like insert the weight, right? So यस्तो गर्दा त्यो माथि आउने. So you can just put the weight त्यो पिन भित्र राखेर अनि कति उचाल्ने भनेर. So त्यो उचाल्नेमा चाहिँ मैले 7वटा जति भित्र राखेर गरिरहेको थिएँ कि. अनि गुरु आउनुभयो होइन गुरुले चाहिँ मलाई सबै राखेर गर भन्यो कि लाइक म्याक्सिमम राखेर गर भन्यो अनि आई आस्क्ड हिम कि लाइक हाउ मच इज द वेट यो सबै राख्यो भने अनि ही डिडन्ट से कि न लाइक म भन्दिनँ होइन गरेर हेर अनि भन्छु भन्यो कि अनि आई डिडन्ट थिङ्क एनिथिङ अफ इट कि ल हुन्छ भनेर गरेँ आई डिड इट कि इट वाज अ बिट डिफिकल्ट तर आई डिड इट होइन सो वेन ही टोल्ड मी आई वाज सक्ड लाइक इट वाज लाइक 90 kg or something कि which is which was a lot कि 90 or like something a kg that I never thought I would do कि so it was all in my mind रहेछ कि त्यो only doing 7 त्यो bar of the kg so it's like 5 kg बाट 35 I was only doing like 35-40 kg and I thought that was my limit so he came to me and he said सबै राख and it was like 90 or something 80 or 90 kg so that's like a lot me but I did it
I have had this couple of occasions similar like yours. So it was a long time ago. And when I was first starting to go into the gym, so and we were doing this machine, pitcher curl, it's called, and that workout has always been a difficult one for me.
The bicep one.
Yeah, the bicep one. And I was doing it at around like maybe 15 kg. Like it was long before, so that weight was. I always felt like that weight was maximum to me. And the gym trainer came in and he was like, "जा अब 15 किलोमा गरेर आएको." And he just took it off and he put it around 40 k.
सिधै 40.
And he told me,
They know, they know that psychology behind some like they know कि how much this person can lift भनेर.
अनि गर अब भने के होइन and I did it के easily के. And now whenever I'm doing it around that weight range के.
You start with that.
Yeah. अनि के भएको थियो भने चाहिँ अर्कोमा चाहिँ के छ भने this shoulder press के but not त्यो हाम्रो डम्बेल वालामा कि
machine
त्यो
the machine
not the machine one. So तिम्रो जुन चाहिँ त्यो स्मिथ मसिन छ नि तिमीलाई स्मिथ मसिन भन्ने थाहा छ त्यो स्क्वाड होइन त्यो स्क्वाड गर्ने ऱ्याक तर इट्स लाइक सपोर्टेड ऱ्याक के होइन त्यो ऱ्याकमा चाहिँ अनि लाइक इट्स सपोर्टेड सो इट्स मोर स्टेबिलिटी हुन्छ अनि सो इट्स लेस injury prone and so I was doing their shoulder press
and that one the one you leg with squat त्यो भनेको हैन बुझ्ने bench press leg press गर्ने वाला machine जस्तोमा हैन
so it's a completely different machine
like in my gym there's like leg press and this one is the same
so, no it's not the same one so there's this another machine called Smith machine it's basically a squat rack
I think I know what you're talking
it's basically a squat rack but you can use it for other exercise as well but it gives you a more stability okay? And so what had happened was like I was working out with one of the gym mates that I had now he's in Australia right? On this I was doing this shoulder press with him and I thought I was adding 7.5 but that was 10 kg weight okay? And so I added it in. And so I was around like 7.5 मात्र गर्न सक्ने के अनि त्यो बेला चाहिँ अलिकति बढाउँ भन्ने गरेको सो इट वाज लाइक 12.5 होइन सो इट्स लाइक 25 अनि त्यसपछि त बार चाहिँ अलगै के सो इट्स लाइक अराउन्ड 45 केजीको मैले सोल्डर प्रेस गरेर आएको थिएँ रहेछ कि
That you didn't know.
Oh,
You thought like it's all in the mind.
it's all about the mind के this also resonates so much with me हुन्छ नि because working out अनि
It seems it resonates with both of us. यो कुरा चाहिँ This is
So,
very true.
yeah.
It's all in the mind.
it's all in the mind.
If you think you can do it, you will be able to do it. If you think you can,
Yeah,
do
it's
it,
all about
like
it's about what you say to yourself.
like there's another quote. कि, if you think you're successful, you are even, and if you think you can do it, you're correct. If you think you cannot do it, you're still correct in your mind, कि,
Mhm.
which is true.
Yeah,
It's just in your mind.
Your
It's just
mind believes
internal
whatever
dialogue
you
that
say,
you
it's safe. So it's like there's this maybe samurai okay there's this Japanese saying जस्तो भन्छ कि there's this saying that you should never say bad things about yourself even when you're alone.
Especially when you're alone.
Yeah, so to believe गर्छ भन्छ क्या mind.
So there's a quote that says, "Be happy but never satisfied." So
I think it's more about contentment.
Contentment
In a way
in a way
you are
there's
content
growth.
with where you are, but you should always strive to achieve more.
Strive for more.
Yeah.
Because you have to be grateful for what you have and what you're doing now and be content with it while also wanting a better future for yourself or
Yeah.
growing in a way that makes you a better version of yourself while also remembering it's okay to be this way. You don't have to change your state right now. So it's a good mindset to have.
Yeah, it's like practicing gratitude and always trying to strive for more.
Yeah, that's a good mindset to start with if you want to be a better
Because
person.
if you're always going to be in a mindset of fight, then you're always going to just have this non-stop battle with yourself and others around you trying to compete to be better. But
You'll never be satisfied.
you'll never be satisfied. So without satisfaction, there's always going to be uncertainty and unwell within your heart. So having this mental well-being is also as important than just having this success. So I think for the mental part of things, this also helps. Thinking
you
about
need
it
a
is-
balance between wanting more and being satisfied with what you have.
Yeah, I think I would say it more in a way that you should compete to achieve whatever you want to achieve. You need to strive to be who you want to be. But at the same time, there should be a degree of wellness within yourself that you're okay if you might not achieve it anytime soon. Whether you might achieve it 10 years down the road, but that's fine. You will achieve it, but you should not be hammering down yourself when you make mistakes. You should be grateful. You should
shouldn't beat
acknowledge the
yourself.
fact where you are, and you should strive for more, but you should always maintain this degree of wellness and calmness within yourself. Composer, let's say.
Composer and be grateful for what you have and where you are at the moment.
Yeah.
Rather than being unsatisfied all the time.
Yeah.
So another one is, if you love life, don't waste time. For time is what life is made up of. This is a
But
very
this is so beautiful. There's the
Anti beautiful.
poetry.
Let me say that again.
Yeah.
If you love life, don't waste time. For time is what life is made up of.
This is so beautiful.
Let it sink. Let that sink in for you guys too. Let me say it again.
Yeah.
If you love life, don't waste time. For time is what life is made up of. It's beautiful. Like
It is trying to tell us to.
the more you think about it, the more amazing it gets.
Yeah, I think it's trying to tell you to appreciate the time that you have and to not waste it on unnecessary things.
Be present at this moment. Like
Yeah.
we are talking right now, let's just be at the moment instead of thinking I have to go to the gym. I had a fight
This
with
argument,
this
this-
person, that.
Yeah.
Instead of let's just enjoy life because this is taking our time then from our life, and we should live it to the fullest because this time is never coming back to us.
Yeah.
Being 23 years old or being whatever you're sold is never coming back to you.
Yeah, it's always this the moment. What has gone
This
is already gone, and the future is unknown. So it's just here. The
Like, you
reality
cannot
is
change it, you cannot tweak it, you cannot like do anything because you don't live there. You live here.
we must be one of the generations where we waste so much of our time.
Mm.
If we were to go through our phone, then our watch time would be probably around screen time 7-8 hours or even more for me.
But
I remember I used to have like 13 hours or so.
13. I had like more than 15 or something. 16, 18 or something. Like that was, I think that was lockdown or something. But that's crazy. 18 hours of watch time is
A lot. Like you spend your whole day watching your phone.
there are 24 hours in a day. 18, 19, 20, 21, 20, 24.
So 6 hours.
I didn't watch anything only for 6 hours.
You're constantly on technology or
18
phones,
hours,
TV.
that is only the phone. I might have watched laptop, TV, or some other gadget where I'm consuming stuff.
Yeah,
Like it got to
that's
the
so
point
much
where-
crazy, right?
Yeah,
Like,
18 hours is a lot.
and that's okay in a way for us to think about it. Okay,
I
like
was
normalized got this okay society I'm saying having
it's
a
okay.
yeah,
But it's not.
that's not okay. Oh, geez.
In that 18 hours, if only I had like use that 18 hours to learn something or connect with my family or connect with a friend or talk to someone or like play with my pet or something, I would have had much fun doing it.
Yeah, those kind
like,
of
if I think like
those moment would have been more
much more
meaningful.
precious to
Yeah.
me because I have no idea what I watched for 18 hours now, like thinking about it now. But if I had played with my pet, like my cat or something, or if I had a deep conversation with my mother, or if I just did
Had a something memorable.
something memorable with my friend, like I would have still remembered till now because I remember a lot of things I've done with my pet cat, and I've talked a lot of things with my mom which I still remember. So if you think about it, you should live in a way that you should live in a way that the technology doesn't control you. You control the technology.
Yeah.
Technology
Technology
is
is
not
good,
the
but-
substitution for real life.
Yeah.
Like there's this book, Good Vibes, Good Life, and in त्यसमा छ कि technology is not the substitute of real life हो कि भन्ने, which is very true.
Mhm.
It isn't the substitute.
It has become a medium through which you skip reality.
Mm.
That's
We are doing it oppositely. We are using phones, and to escape the phone, we live in reality. But in reality, in what
The
we should
real
have
world.
done, what we should have done is
Yeah.
live in the reality, and just to take a break from reality, we go to our
Social.
phones to, just
refresh.
for
Recharge.
an hour or two is okay, considering on what your goal is. So we are doing the opposite. This generation, us, me, like we're doing the
Me as
opposite.
well.
Yeah, but my screen time has been going down and down. It's like now it's like 2 hours, 3 hours at max. I don't really use my phone anymore. I don't have any games. I don't have I literally have nothing in my phone. It's just Sudoku or like that play games that we play. It's just that. I don't have any games. I don't have anything that I use. I don't use social media that much. Just
I take breaks from social media once in a while.
like dopamine detox.
Yeah. So last time I left social media, I left it for around a month or so.
That's good. Like I feel like
Completely
you need that.
off social media.
I feel like you need that. Like you feel so alive.
Yeah. It feels like
You weren't living
you
at
present.
that time.
You feel present in the situation.
Like
That's
you're
what I
there.
feel.
Okay? You're there. Okay? You're not being controlled by
Device.
a rectangular device that glows. You're not being controlled by a rectangular device that glows,
Yeah.
which is just made up of pixels and chips and circuits and wires. It's just a thing.
Yeah. that we made.
It's crazy how this thing controls us so much in our life instead of us controlling it.
Yeah, I remember once when I was going through one of these breaks from social media, and I used Snapchat after a long while, and I opened my Snapchat, right? There were so many snaps that I hadn't watched for like this past 30 days or so. And I used to get so many notifications. And I don't know for what reason I got bored and I just used Snapchat and I went through all of those snaps. What people sent me throughout this month that I wasn't there.
I did that too. Like I have deleted Snapchat, and so people still send me snaps for some reason. Like
They wouldn't know that you were off Snapchat though.
yeah, that is true. But for me,
Yeah.
like for me, when I see it,
It's weird.
it's weird because you're like I'm seeing it in a span of 10 seconds, but that 10 second was that person's month.
Month
So
of
I'm
highlight.
a month of highlight I'm looking at in 5 seconds, and they are going from the gym to the eating burgers to watching a concert or going from weird so random. Okay? It's so but it's so fun watching it like that.
Yeah,
Instead
it
of
is.
watching it every day, every 6 months take a break and in 6 months baji watch every single
You will see the highlight reel of
Like the
6
when-
months of an individual.
like when you get bored you just open Snapchat and just look at people's life in people's 6 months of life in 5 seconds.
Like talking about the concert, like recently Southern Raspberry the concert happened.
Yeah.
And it feels like everyone and their mom has went to that concert. Everywhere. It's everywhere. I was like, I didn't even know the concert was happening. And
It was-
there's
I
like
wanted to go.
half of the Kathmandu is in that fucking concert.
I wanted I love his music though.
Yeah.
I wanted to go.
Yeah, I think I don't necessarily listen to Nepali song, but his song Hatasite Batasite, I think.
Hataridai Bhattasidai.
Were one of the first few Nepali songs that I actually searched and listened to. And those I
Like his
I
music.
remember those songs a lot. Like every time I recall that music and that song, it takes me back a couple of years when I was in high school.
That happens.
It takes me back because like I used to play Fortnite and I used to have this song on my background.
Oh.
Ani
Yeah.
Nozik that Batika M Rana
Nozik Na.
के हो Nozik Now भन्ने होला अनि there's another by this Nitesh Kumar के हो I forgot the name of the song, but like there were a couple of songs that I used to listen to. It was in my
हाम्रो
playlist.
नेपालमा
होइन होइन
or something like that. Just like I do remember that. Like I used to play this game like Pokemon or
It is-
something.
ए आसमा
Asma.
तिमी नै तिमी छौ साथमा भन्ने
On that one.
Uh.
So I also remember like music. There's this song Ranga from Rockets or Rockets. And I listened to that song first time this यो दसैँको अगाडिको दसैँमा दसैँको बिदा बेलामा मैले फर्स्ट टाइम सुनेको थिएँ कि त्यो गीत अनि आई वाज राइट हियर होइन लाइक माई सेटअप वाज अ बिट डिफ्रेन्ट त्यति बेला अनि आई ह्याड माई सेटअप डिफ्रेन्टली अनि आई रिमेम्बर द्याट मोमेन्ट कि द्याट एक्ज्याक्ट मोमेन्ट आई लिसन एन्ड लाइक started loving that song. I love that song. And I remember the exact moment of listening to that song and vibing to that song. Like राति 12 बजे 1 बजे हुन्छ नि like continuously it was on loop. I remember it on loop. And it does take you back to that time. Also, I used to listen to these Linkin Park songs. Linkin Park song and there are few songs that I used to play constantly. Catalyst के भन्ने होइन अनि पहिला when I was like 14, 13 or even younger than that. I think I was like 11 or something. That time I used to play this Pokemon game where it's just pixels. And I used
Game
to,
Boy or something.
yeah, Game Boy emulator I used to play on PC.
Yeah, okay.
So त्यसमा चाहिँ I used to play that song. There's like loop. There's always this loop happening while I play this song. And whenever I play that song now, I remember that moment. So music has very huge impact on how we see things funny.
Yeah,
Right?
it does. And I mean, like, I used to play Fortnite a lot back then
Mm.
when it was in its peak. And I used to spend around like 2, 3 hours a day just practicing different builds,
Mm.
not playing the game, just practicing different metas and stuff. And I used to play often late nights till like 12, 11 till night. And I had to go to the class tomorrow morning at 5. And I used to have this Sicko mode by Travis Scott.
Oh.
I used to have it on loop. Like it first came out. It was at that time
That
around the
year.
year. So it first came out and I loved the song so much that I had it on the loop, right? And I used to grind Fortnite and I used to just hop on with like couple of there were like two other people from Xavier Academy that I used to play with. अनि निराजन र नोबल भन्ने थियो क्या दुईजना अनि दुईजनासँग खेल्ने होइन man, one of the best times of my life. Sleep deprived, full of energy, dark circles under the eyes, waking up 5 in the morning, half asleep, running to the college, attending the class, coming back home, not even eating the lunch, just hopping right into this Fortnite and playing couple of games, then having lunch, then hopping again on the Fortnite and playing with the boys. That was my life. And I enjoyed every single time I spent on it. It was like such a memorable time to think.
Mm.
Fortnite is like, I love that game so much. It's sad that I don't enjoy it anymore.
Mm. The same goes for me with Minecraft. You know Minecraft.
Yeah.
I love Minecraft. Like I love playing the game because it allows you to be free, creative, and
Yeah.
I used to play with my brothers. Like there's an online mode and you just run around, make homes, like fight the dragon, fight zombies, fight skeleton. It's so fun. Like playing with. I still remember playing it, like making a house, uh, uh, making houses in servers. Like you can create
Yeah,
server,
yeah, you know.
like server, and you go into the server, tell them to join, and you do 1-on-1v1. You do like you. There are endless
So many
possibility
things, right?
of what you can do in my. But now I don't like. I don't have the time
To enjoy it
anymore. Like,
the thing is, I remember.
but I really enjoyed every moment of playing that game.
I remember when I was around grade 9 and 10, and you know how like when exams are right around the corner,
Yeah.
you wouldn't do anything but study,
Except studying.
right?
Yeah.
And it was one of those times for me. I had like terminal exams coming up, and this was I just cannot concentrate at all. So what I used to do was there was this YouTuber called Sundi.
Oh.
It's a Minecraft YouTuber.
Oh, yeah.
Sundi, like I don't know if you remember him or not, but he was this
Sunday or Fundy?
Sundi. He's quite popular Minecraft YouTuber के पहिलाको.
Sunday.
अँ SSUNDE हो कि यस्तै के छ कि.
Sunday.
But anyways, होइन, he used to play these different game modes, servers like Jailbreak,
Bed Wars, Sky
Bed
Wars,
Wars.
Sky Wars. Oh my god, I used to play it so much with my brothers.
I used to be so deep into it. I was like, nah, leave it. I'm just gonna watch this series. I've not studied anything.
Oh.
Now it's already late. मैले पढेर केही हुँदैन.
Might as well watch the jailbreak. Pixel's jailbreaking.
I used to watch it so much. Yeah. It used to be so much fun watching Minecraft. I've never played a single game of Minecraft till date.
It happens.
But I used to love watching it. Minecraft are so much fun though.
Yeah. How did we get to Minecraft?
Yeah,
From Bruce Lee to Minecraft.
Minecraft.
So, staying on the topic of Bruce Lee, I have another quote that is, a goal is not always meant to be reached. It often serves simply as something to aim at.
Mhm.
So, like, if you have a goal, just keep it as a goal. Don't focus on it. Instead, to reach the goal, you have to do certain stuff. So enjoy doing that stuff. So a goal is not always meant to be reached. It is just to it is just there to like simply there to something
Be a
to aim
target.
at. Like I'm working towards this, but you have to enjoy along the way. Anything like
I remember
failure
this
was subway.
interview that I've heard from Connor,
Conor McGregor.
no, Connor McConaughey, something McConaughey. He's this great, like American actor.
Oh,
Matthew McConaughey.
Interstellar.
Interstellar.
It's my favorite movie.
Yeah, Matthew McConaughey, Connor भन्नु होइन
Matthew
होइन
McConaughey. Yeah.
अनि Matthew McConaughey चाहिँ there's this interview, right? अनि he
With
won,
Chris Williamson.
no, he wins this award होइन अनि त्यसपछि or something like this. Regardless, but there's this incident where he's saying this story of he's meeting someone and he says, "What's your goal or what do you want to achieve?" And he says, "I want to achieve, like, I want to be the best version of myself or something like that, for like 4-5 years down the road type of thing once again." And त्यसपछि 4-5 वर्षपछि फेरि पर्छ and have you achieved it भनेर भन्छ नि कि and no, it's still 4-5 years ahead of me. And that quite reminds me of that because the goals, as a human, we have this unlimited desires, whatever that might be, from riches to achievements to recognitions to fame. We are going to have countless desires. Just when we think one is over, the next one is in the horizon. Okay? So we are always constantly chasing these so-called goals and so-called achievement that will make us feel good. But we have to always know that not all the goals are achievable. And even though we are striving to achieve these kind of things, we will not achieve all of it.
That is a good one. So the last quote that I have is courage is not the absence of fear, it is the ability to act in spite of it. This is a very good one. Like I think most people misunderstand what being courage, like having courage is like. Like courage is not like they feel like it's absence of fear. You're not scared of it. You're not scared of anyone. You're not scared to do things. That is courage. Just to like I also felt like that before I knew this. So it's not that, but it is the ability to act in spite of being like scared.
That's
You're
true.
scared, but you're still doing it. That is courage, not the
Yeah.
not having of the fear.
Yeah, I agree with this so much. Maybe I heard it somewhere other than what Bruce Lee said, but this is something that I've heard before as well, and I agree with so much. I think whenever you're feeling afraid and scared, you need to remind yourself for all the past time that you have been scared, but still chose to stand up against the challenge or the situation and get through it. I think you have to always remind yourself of the courageous past that you have had.
Do it scared.
Yeah, do it scared. That is courage at the end of the day.
You have to do it scared. Like when you're scared, that is when you know you're doing the right, like you're going the right path.
Yeah,
When you're scared, that
Walking
is
through the path of progression.
yeah. Until and unless you're not scared of what you're doing, that's not worth it. Just to लाग्छ मलाई चाहिँ कुनै धेरै कुरामा not everything. I don't have to be scared to do everything.
But this
like
moment of change वाला कुराहरू,
like
moment of leap.
moment of leap. Yeah, to take that faith of leap, I have to do it scared. Otherwise, it's not like
You're
not
just doing something that
You're
you're
just
already
yeah.
used to doing.
I'm not growing as much as I'm supposed to.
Yeah.
So do you want to end it there?
Yeah, I think we have went through all of the topics that we wanted to talk about.
Yeah. So this was a special podcast for Bruce Lee's birthday. This will be posted on Bruce Lee's birthday, right?
Yeah.
So this was a special podcast from like we have this card Bruce Lee playing cards from Art of Play, and it has a lot of quotes in it, and we picked
Few of the
few
most
of the
interesting
most
quotes.
interesting quotes. Plus, we researched some quotes that he had said, and we wanted to bring it to you guys for you to listen to it and let us know what you think about it. If you have any, if you think we missed any quotes, leave down in the comments. And yeah,
Hopefully, we gave you a little bit more insight on what Bruce Lee stands for and the philosophy that he has. So, I guess this is it for today.
yeah.
So, bye bye.
Bye bye.